Hey everyone, I'm Caroline Rena on the Ride of My Life podcast, and today's an interesting opportunity to share this poem that I wrote back on August 30th, 2021. So we're getting closer to the same time frame, but not quite yet. But things are still in this same shifting, like things are coming back around, but we're at a different level now of perception. And this poem that I wrote last year is about change, which is interesting because we are actually in a new moon phase, which talks about change, things moving forward, still releasing old things, but then being aware of the things that kind of are coming up into play in our lives. And it's just interesting to me how with my journey and my healing and what's happening with me, how it affects people around me and how they end up going through their moon phases of healing. And our bodies change, our bodies actually change, our cells change every 90 days, and then they do it again every 7 years. And we're never the same. And we have this incredible fear of change. We want change. We want things to change, but we are so fearful of change because of, more than likely, the traumas, our nervous system being locked up in that trauma, the stress responses, all this stuff locks fear into the body. So as much as we want things to change in our lives, we are afraid of change. And I'm no different. I've got this process that I'm walking through, and I've got things happening every day that are shifting things in my life, and yet still I have these fears that go, put the brake on, and it's not pleasant. However, I know it's part of the process. So I really feel like it's important to recognize how important change really is and what it does for us and why. And it's there because it's a part of life. It's a part of nature. Nature changes. You see it in the seasons. We're connected to nature. There's no reason on this planet why we wouldn't be the same with nature, other than the fact that we have a frontal lobe and we can think for ourselves, where the other parts of nature don't have that. But sometimes that gets us into trouble. And as I've experienced throughout my life and my healing journey and all the things that have been going on. And I just want to share this poem real quick because I feel it's important to understand exactly what this is about, this change. And there's changes everywhere. I'm going to adjust this because I'm still trying to figure out how to work these things out. I'm on the road, so I find different places to do it. And, there's always these technical things happening. And I'm like, anyway, more changes, right? Okay, so roll with the changes and we got it. So the poem I wrote last year is called Nothing Ever Stays the Same. And I'd like to share that with you right now. So, nothing ever stays the same, although we've learned this crazy game of believing that is absolutely so. If we lived within nature, we would know. The deep truth about this statement, without the need for an abatement. Most of us want to keep things as is, when we can understand, but we don't. What gives? Here's an interesting feat of sorts, breaking free of the beliefs that we can't support anymore if we wish to live the dream we hold for ourselves, and with a little self-esteem. We can bridge the gap from the old way of thinking, no longer believing the BS and sinking into the depths of our own created hell, instead of knowing that change breaks the spell that we have been living in for so long, trying desperately to belong. To conform with others we think is tough, to stop thinking we are not good enough, to let go of that way of being and look inside to a new way of seeing. Our truth inside the darkness brings light. When we look at the birds as they take flight, We know deep inside we want to be free of this incessant conformity. So let us travel down this road and seek the truth inside and unload all of the beliefs, patterns, and thoughts that has kept us stuck because of someone else's taunts. Go inside, my love, find yourself there. You will not regret, it cannot compare. The internal realm is where we want to go, to let go of the falsities, and you will know. As you heal your heart and connect deep within to your inner child who knows everything and about you and also knows how to help you too, if you would just listen, he or she will get you through to the other side of the unrelenting pain that we have ingested for society to maintain this craziness that isn't required. For life to live, you need not be mired. You can learn to trust yourself and move on until you finally stumble upon these things that you always knew to be true, held deep inside where no one would listen to you or see who you are. The truth be told, it is time to connect with your inner child and hold him or her so deeply inside your heart. Let join with you and make a brand new start. Okay, so that's really important in recognizing that all change does is connect you with who you are. It connects you with the truth of your heart and your soul. It connects you with your inner little girl or boy. It connects you. Once you connect with self, you connect with others, you connect with life, you connect with nature, you connect with spirit. And then you feel like there's this no separation. That's what I feel is happening. These moments where we start to recognize who we are connects us with others, and then we start to see, wow, I've been in so much pain, and so I've been behaving this certain way because I've been in so much pain, but now I can see it in other people, and I feel compassion and love and concern rather than getting all, whoa, I can't be in the presence of that person because it kept hitting my nervous system, it hit my traumas, it hit my pain, it hit everything. Whenever someone was going through something, it was hard. It was really hard for me to connect deeply with them because my stuff was coming up when their stuff came up. And that happens. I talk about grief sometimes. It happens a lot in grief. It's like if somebody's going through grief, a lot of us sorry, I've got a hair happening here. A lot of us just want to stop the grief process from happening, not because you want them to feel okay, or maybe that's possible too, but the other reason is because it hits our pain, it hits our grief, and a lot of us don't want to look at that. And the really crazy thing about this is it's counterintuitive, maybe it's an oxymoron. It's like by going into the pain, by sitting with the pain, by sitting with the grief, crying or getting angry or whatever you can do with the grief, you're actually releasing it by looking at it. When you ignore it and stuff it down, it actually makes things worse. I'm going to say this again. I talk about it. It's like all these traumas and these situations that happened in our life kind of gets locked into our physiology, but they're just emotions, and emotions are supposed to move and flow, and that's my belief on the whole flowing thing that people talk about. And so what happens is when it gets stuck inside and another similar situation happens with another similar emotion that's coming through, say anger, it bites, it hits, it pulls the scab off. And when that happens, it recreates that situation. And the only reason it's doing that is so we have an opportunity to see what's happening and shift it and do it differently, not so we can be in pain. It's not the purpose. So being aware of these things, I just want you guys to be aware of what's happening when something like that happens, and just watch, observe yourself, see how you're responding or reacting. If you're in an argument with somebody and you're like, wow, my body's starting to feel, whatever, and I can't take this, and they're, throwing all their crap on me or whatever, your intention is to settle yourself, not them. Your intention is to stop that in your own body. And I say that because what you can do is you can say, wait, stop, hold on a minute. I don't want to hurt you with anything I'm going to say. I need to take a time out, and give yourself a timeout and say, because some people have attachment or separation trauma. So telling them how long you're going to be is very helpful to heal this process. So telling them, I'm going to go take a time out, go in the other room, do some deep breathing exercises. If you want to, my favorite is doing a temper tantrum and then doing a deep breathing exercise. Shut the door, screaming your pillow, whatever, get that out of you. And then your energy will shift. And then after 10 minutes, you told them 10 minutes, you're like, usually it doesn't take that long to release that. But then you go back in with a different vibration, a different mindset, and you're like, okay, I'm in a better place. I'm ready to talk about this. It may not be fixable in the moment. You may find something where it's like, let's agree to disagree for now. And then when we're in a better space, we can talk about it, because talking about something that's energizing both people who are in an argument in the moment doesn't work. And waiting until there's an opportunity later for that gritty energy that's been, and you just want to get mad at the person because you're so upset or they're so upset and you just want to fight it out. But that's not what you're looking for, not if you're looking for a relationship. So taking that time and then saying to the other person, being in communication, say, look, let's not talk about this right now, or let's not try to resolve this right now. Let's just agree to disagree for the moment, and then when we're both settled in a different space, which you always will be within a few hours, within a few days, whatever, and then you can come back to that and discuss it in more of a space where you both are in your thinking mind. So I'm trying to come up with the best word. When you're in your thinking mind and you come back and you can be like, make compromises and be willing to make compromises, because the energy is no longer there. The worst time to ever try and come up with a decision or solve something is when you're in the nervous system meltdown. You can't do it. Your body will not let you do it. So when you come out of that and you're calmer and things have shifted and you've kind of gotten into something else, and it's pulling you out of that, energetic mishmash thing, then you can come back to it. And it's much easier to come back and have a conversation with somebody as you practice. It's a practice. It's not something that happens just like that. So what I want to do is let you know that whatever happens in your life, you have control over it, whether you think you do or not. And so I just want to remind you, change happens. And even those conversations that we happen, the hard ones, the not so hard ones, they are all part of change, because we are changing inside of us. We are connecting with another person and they're changing, and that's it. So I hope you got something from this. I love you guys, and wherever you are, have a beautiful moment. And so that should be it. Take care and peace.